Morning. Good morning, everybody. Now, earlier today, I went and watched yesterday's stream. And skip that. And I saw that the audio levels were pretty good, but that the game volume seemed a little bit too quiet. So I'm gonna bump that up one notch, and we'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes today. Okay. On to day 59. Day 59. Tomorrow will mark 2 months, 2 full months of this series. How cool is that? How cool is that? Alright, today we're back on the Isle of Man again. Back on my R6. With my beautiful brakes, beautiful tires. Put my paddles on real quick. Got my water ready. And I didn't like the very frequent workout stops or breaks yesterday, so I think today I'm gonna do a single workout break around an hour or so, and then I'll finish my workout after the stream or something. As 3 breaks in a single stream, that's too much. That's too much. Too much for 2 hours. If I was doing a 4-hour stream like I have in the past, maybe I would take 3 breaks, but 3 breaks in 2 hours, that's too much. Let's go this way. Turn the volume in my headphones a little bit. Turn the music up a little bit. I'm actually gonna unlock my phone. Okay. And we'll just be doing another cruise today. Yesterday I was talking about how I liked the idea of following how marathon runners train for their marathons, where they do 10 slow miles for every fast one. Now, I'm not sure if that's how all marathon runners train for their marathons. It could be that some marathon runners, they just run as fast as they can all the time. I don't know, I'm not one of them. But I've heard that some of them do 10 slow miles for every fast one. And I decided to do something similar with these streams, where on every 10th day, every multiple of 10, so tomorrow 60, I'll do a fast stream, which will most likely consist of me going to a track and rims racing and just doing some laps around the track for 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that. And then the rest of the days I'll just be cruising, either on the Isle of Man like this, or doing that loop regimen that I like doing in rims racing, where I sort of go back and forth through all the point-to-point tracks that they've got there, the mountain roads. Yeah. I was thinking about going over to those mountain roads today and practicing on the 1,000 because I want to be kind of prepared for that fast day tomorrow. But I think I'm generally prepared. I've done a few laps on the track on those 1,000s, and I did actually crash 7 days ago, something like that. I was going over oh, hold on a sec, I gotta adjust something. I was going over one of those rumble strips that you see on at like the apexes of the corners. I was going over the apex, the rumble strip, and I've been riding for a while. I think this was about like 2.5 hours into this particular stream, and I was going over the rumble strip. I didn't gauge it very well, and the bike slipped out from under me. And I was going about 30 miles an hour, so it wasn't a severe crash. It was just like a low side. But yeah, so to me that just sort of fell under that first rule. It wasn't very severe, just enough to end the stream. Not really take time off. I think if I'm gonna be taking time off, it should look in the game like I would have been like physically injured, right? So if I crash into a wall or crash in some way where the bike would be very damaged, then I'll take like a week or 2 weeks off, or perhaps more if it was like a very severe crash where I would have broken a bone or something. Then I'd take like 2 months off or something. But it was just a little low side, so I decided to end the stream early and start back up the next day. But other than that, riding on the track has been very successful. It's great practice. And today I think I'm going to be focusing on what I was talking about a little bit yesterday, where I read in a book called The Upper Half of the Motorcycle, I read a cool trick that you can do for making sure that you keep your eyes like far down the road, where you sort of picture yourself in the motorcycle riding where your eyes are looking. So right now I'm looking at this next bend and then up the straight. Where I'm looking, I would be picturing myself riding a motorcycle, right? And like looking through the corner here to the apex out. And right now down the road, sort of picturing a guy riding. And this music is too high energy for me right now. I'm gonna turn on Aphex Twin. Alright. But afterwards, please. I need an instrumental song, please. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah. Like I was saying yesterday, I'm not that practiced at riding behind people, because the AI in these motorcycle games is so fast. And my favorite way to play these games is what I'm doing right now. Like, try not to ever crash. I think that hones my skills the best. I don't know if it hones my skills the best, but I like doing it. I find it fun. And the AI in these games are so damn fast that I'm not going to be able to keep up with them playing in this style for like another 100 days, probably. Another probably 200 hours of practicing, you know. So I'm just sort of going on my own, not riding behind other bikes. So picturing a bike in front of me is more difficult than it sounds. Cutting inside to the apex here. But I think that sort of mental preparation will be good for when I eventually do start riding behind AI and stuff like that. Cutting into the apex, cutting into the other apex, but too early there. That would actually be a good thing to do, yeah, because lately, well, I guess for this entire series so far, and for the whole time that I've been actually playing these motorcycle video games, I've been just sort of guessing at where the apex is in the corner. I don't spend too much time. That's bad. I don't spend too much time I don't have like a good map of the corners in my mind, right? I just sort of like improvise through all the corners. And that's definitely a skill in itself, but I mean, memorizing the corners and actually having a good visual of them in your mind is definitely another skill that you need to have in your arsenal of skills. And I've been lacking on my practice of that skill, so I think visualizing myself in front of me and seeing like what I would actually do, like stand to the outside, cutting in, would be very valuable for really, you know, like confirming whether or not the maps that I have in my mind match the map in the game. Stand to the outside, apex, outside. Starting off on the mountain course right now. Not warmed up yet, so I gotta be careful. I haven't sunken into the contact patches, as people like to say. So I think I might cut it down. I'm not going to be going into fifth gear again like I did just a minute ago. Just going to be cruising, just feeling myself into the bike. Trying to visualize where I would be apexing. Right up here. I gotta be less afraid to turn sharply. Yesterday I was sort of having a gripe with that, where I felt like my bike was too twitchy. But I'm missing a lot of these apexes, I'm missing them. Even when I'm trying to turn sharply into them, so I'm gonna actually check something in my controls, but I gotta be less afraid to turn sharply, I think. Let's see here. Go to these. Yeah, I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. See how 5 works. Okay. How is that? It's a little twitchy. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, it is a little twitchy. I'm gonna switch that down to 6. Go like that. Go like that. Okay. And we off. I think if I'm gonna go down at all, I should do it gradually. For these apexes, I need to get a good feeling for my rear tire and just let it sort of hang out while I'm going through those corners. Just let it hang out to the side of me. Not really be too afraid by that, too frightened. Let it just hang out there. Follow the bike, follow where it wants to go. Apexing. Yeah, I gotta be careful. Utilize that rear brake. I'll put that down here. Down to Douglas. Yeah, yesterday I started that Starfield stream that I was talking about. And with that stream, I decided to do a sort of NPC walkthrough type of thing. And that does not mean that I'll be doing Super Glizzy Overdrive. But what it does mean is that I'll be... See, I loved... The only way that I play Skyrim anymore, because I've done almost every single quest, like 3 times at least. The only way that I play Skyrim anymore is that I'll just like walk around, sort of treat it, as a sort of large park, I guess you could say. But I really enjoy doing that. I like throwing on like an album, or throwing on a podcast or an audiobook or something like that, and just sort of walking around Skyrim. I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. And I do largely just use video games as like something to do while I'm listening to an audiobook or a podcast. I did that a lot in the first 55 streams of this, 55 days of this I Crash I Quit Twitch series. Since I didn't have a mic, I would just throw on a podcast or an audiobook and let that sort of pass the time while I was cruising. That's just how I like playing video games. And so I figured for my Twitch, for my streaming, I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to play video games in a way that I wouldn't normally. And so, but I also do want to make it like interesting. So for the Starfield playthrough, I'm going to be doing the same sort of thing that I'm doing here. I'm not gonna gamble my whole Twitch account on whether I die or not. Like I am with these streams. Or if I crash, I quit. But I am gonna give myself one life. So if I die, I'm just gonna stop streaming Starfield. And too high there. And while I do stream, I'm just gonna walk around. I'm gonna walk around and I'm gonna listen to books, or I'm gonna read books. I've got this idea that I really, really like for a sort of video essay type of thing, where I really, really want to understand how the U.S. Constitution was written. Like, I want to understand the world of the 1600s when people were first settling here. I want to understand like the dynamics between the countries. I want to understand what people thought of like culture and stuff like that. I want to understand why like free speech and free press, and I want to understand like why all the amendments were put in, why they were so considered so important at the time. I feel like I'm very ignorant of a lot of that stuff, and I only have secondhand knowledge from people talking about such things in podcasts, who themselves probably only have secondhand knowledge from listening to their own podcasts and stuff like that. So I've got like third-hand knowledge of all those things, and I want to know it for myself. I want to know it for myself. I want to build a better picture of all that in my mind, so I can, I don't know, just so I have a better picture of it in my mind. But for some reason, I've been sort of, my mind has continued to fall on that idea of making a video essay on those topics. Probably something between like 40 minutes and 2 hours or something like that, like a real deep dive into all those things. And so, I want to read like the American philosophers like John Locke. I want to read all the writings of the founding fathers and stuff like that. But I also want to read about stuff like the Spanish Inquisition. Like yesterday I just started the first major writing by John Locke, which is called A Letter Concerning Toleration. I've read it once before, but I just like sort of skimmed through it for like the broad picture. Now I wanna read it and like do a deep exploration of it, take a lot of notes, sort of go around and let it guide my research and stuff. And yeah, while I was reading and taking notes during the stream, I did a quick search on the Spanish Inquisition, and that's a whole freaking topic, man. The Spanish Inquisition. I knew very, very little about it. before I did anything yesterday. I still don't know much, but yeah, it turns out that the Spanish Inquisition lasted like 400 years, from like the late 1400s until 1834. It lasted until 1834. That's 25 years before the Civil War. And if you think the Civil War was like a distant event that happened in the past, the first atomic bombs were dropped 80 years ago, right? Those were dropped in the 1940s. And the Civil War happened 80 years before that. I don't know. In my mind, when I think of those numbers, that does not seem very distant at all. I think the first atomic bombs being dropped in Japan, that was like yesterday. We still have no idea. We have no fucking clue what the fact that we're living with atomic bombs means for our civilization. You know, it could still well just like mean our complete eradication within the next 5 years. It might not, but it might. You know, we have no idea what those objects mean for our society. And that was just 80 years ago. And the Civil War was 80 years before that. And obviously we're still not over racism and stuff like that. So these are very recent events. And the Spanish Inquisition happened, it ended 20 years before the Civil War. I for some reason, I found that fascinating. And yeah, it was crazy to read about. And I just read like a tiny little like synopsis article type of thing about it. But it started, well, it really began from an anti-Muslim sentiment. It was interesting. So in the 1300s, there was this Muslim group in Spain that I think was running Spain for the most part. They were like the major party, and they were called the Moors, right? And they were running Spain, and the Catholics wanted to take over again. And so from like the 1300s until about the mid 1400s, they sort of went in and did everything that they could to slowly take over the country. And so by the mid 1400s, they had largely achieved that goal and had taken over again. And then at about that time, there was still a sizable number of Muslims, but I think it was like largely decided that they had sort of lost, right? And they had lost power. Tight turn here. And so the Catholics were in charge, and they were just like dead set on having the entire country be Catholic. You know, there was no room for toleration of any other religious group. And so, and you know, if you think back to it, that they'd been trying to take over as the like dominant religion for 150 years at that point. That's a lot of generations back to back to back of people focused on the exact same goal. You know, that's like like the people starting the conquest back in the early 1300s. Um, their children would have grown up, died, and it would be halfway through that conquest, 75 years or so. And so that's a lot of generations of people focused on the exact same goal. So after it was done, after they had actually taken back the country and had really merged with the like dominant political factions and stuff, and had actually regained power, they didn't stop. They wanted to achieve total religious uniformity in Spain. It's really weird. So, as you might think, they went directly for the Jews at that point. The real Inquisition, where the king instated a Grand Inquisitor, which is when the Inquisition like truly kicked off, late 1400s. He When the Inquisition like truly started, they got a Grand Inquisitor. The first group that they went after was the Jews. And so, I don't know, for the next 50 or 60 years, they literally like tortured people. They killed people. They killed Jews who were not willing to convert to Christianity, convert to Catholicism more specifically. They tortured them, they killed them, and they expelled a bunch of them as like sort of political refugee type of people, right? Political and religious in this case. So they first went after Jews, and then after they ridded the country of the Jewish population, what next? You've got many inquisitorial people who that's their income, that's how they provide for their family and for their community, as they root out, like religious enemies and stuff like that. Now that you have no Jews, there's no religious enemy, you need to find another group. So they went back to the Muslim population in Spain and started rooting them out as well, again, for the second freaking time. And so it was the same thing. They killed people, they tortured people who wouldn't convert, and they expelled people. I don't know why they, like, I wonder what the difference between killing and expelling was. Like, why did they decide to kill people, some people, and not expel them, and then like expel other people? I don't know. I have to read more about it. But yeah, so they started doing all that with the remaining Muslim population, and eventually they ran out of Muslims in the country. And so that didn't stop them. They just went straight for the Protestant Christian population. That's right. You had Catholics, which are Christians, torturing, killing, and expelling other Christians who were of a different sect, the Protestant sect, It's crazy. And that's a whole nother story, getting into sort of the difference between Protestants and Catholics. There is a very, very interesting history behind that, which I definitely want to learn more about as well. But after that, after they got rid of all the Protestants, they started going after Catholics. They just started going after themselves. Those inquisitors, those Grand Inquisitors, they like their power, they like their probably high income and their presence in the aristocratic class, right? They don't want to lose that power, they don't want to lose that income. So let's just start going after our own fucking people. Let's start going after Catholics, right? And so, yeah, so they just started killing, torturing, and expelling Catholics. And that lasted until 1834. That was 400 years. 550 if you count it going back all the way to 1300 when they first started trying to take over the country again. Yeah, that was very, very interesting to learn about. And I want to see how widespread that sort of sentiment, that sort of sentiment was in the European continent at the time. Like that can't have just been limited to Spain. You know, that had to be taking place across the whole continent. Yeah, I don't know. I want to read a lot more about it. I want to understand it. And when you start applying that to some of the amendments that you find in the U.S. Constitution, like this freedom of religion thing, it really starts to make you think. Makes you think, because we take a lot of that stuff for granted. We take a lot of this stuff for granted because we don't understand the history behind it. And I think making a long video, well put together video about it will do some good in the world, I think. At least it will do some good for my own mind. And so that's what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. But yeah, so getting back to Starfield, I want to sort of conduct this research by sort of pretending to be like an NPC researcher in the Starfield game. And so I'll research while I'm streaming and stuff like that. And I figured that'd be cool because, like, if any people make it into my stream who are interested in the same things, they can like put little things in the chat, and I can bounce my ideas off of them in the chat, and get ideas from different chatters and expand my knowledge that way as well. But yeah, one of the interesting things that Locke talks about in this first writing that I'm reading, a letter concerning toleration, is he really just goes off on this sort of inquisitorial mindset that was so, I'm guessing, widespread in his time, where he was really emphasizing how it's like impossible to effectively convert people to your religion through force. You know, I mean, that's more than obvious to us today, but back then people were trying to fucking do it. They were trying to torture people to get them to convert to their religion, and really that is just outward conversion. Like, there's no inward change happening. You know, someone's punching you in the face repeatedly until you say a few words. That's basically what was going on. I don't know, but yeah, very, very, very strange times. I want to know more about it. I want to know more. I need more knowledge. I need it. I need it like water. I need more knowledge. But getting back to this game, we're just riding around. We're just cruising. We're just cruising around right now. And this research project, I wanna take it slow. I wanna get like a very broad but also detailed conception of what was happening back then. So it's going to take me a number of years, I think. This is something that I want to learn about over like 3 to 5 years, probably. Maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter. Who knows? We'll see how much time I end up spending on it every day. I think I'll do like 2-hour-long streams or something per day. I think I'm gonna try to do like a 2-hour ride in this game or in RIMS every day, and then I'll do, and that's in the morning, and then I'll do a Starfield research stream every day at night before I go to bed. Another cool thing about that is, like sometimes I'll just get bored of researching, and will actually want to go out and do some Starfield missions and stuff like that. So I think that'll make it sort of exciting, And the fact that it will be a no-death thing will make it that much more exciting too. Like the success of my research will depend on whether or not I die in Starfield. It's kind of funny. Maybe maybe if I end up dying in Starfield, then I'll just do away with that rule or something, but just having the rule makes it a little bit more exciting in my own mind. A little bit more high stakes. Sort of it'll change the way I behave and stuff like that. I like that sort of thing. Man, I've been on complete autopilot while I've been talking about all that stuff. Not paying so little attention to what I'm doing in the game. Definitely not paying attention to trying to picture myself riding in front of me. I'll get back to that for a little bit. Okay. That corner comes up on you. Comes out of nowhere. Is this Salby Strait? I think this is Salby Strait. I don't know what's coming next though. Yeah, there's a little bend here. Gotta watch out for it. And then we come up to John McGinnis's favorite corners of the course. These flowy little curves coming up before the Salby Strait. I can imagine if you're going at very high speeds, these are indeed very flowy corners. Just back, forth, like so. But we are going, of course, backwards right now, so I'm gonna be a little more careful, a little more cautious. I don't quite know what's coming next. Excuse me. I think I'm going to take a break in a second here and do some working out. I'm about 45 minutes into the stream. Oh, stretching my back a little bit right now. What's on my workout for today? I think I'm doing jumping squats. I think I'm doing push-up holds. So you go down about halfway and you push up and you hold it. I think I'm doing, what else am I doing? I'm doing some sort of leg lift, I think. Whew. I'm doing, what else am I doing? What's the last one? Hip thrusters. I'm doing some hip thrusters as well. I will be humping the air. I love this game. I love this game. I love this game. I love this game. Can I say it enough? No. I love this game. I love it. It's so beautiful. So open. So big. Such a good simulation. I love this game. This game is amazing. I love it. I love this game. I love this game. I can't say it enough. I love this game. They need to make more like it. Please, please, someone make another game like this. Make it set in the Alpine region so I can drive through mountains like this. Please, someone. And put slower down bikes in it, please. Put like an R3. Come on. I should not have to start on a 600. I managed to do it, but it was dangerous. There were a number of times where I had close calls. Please put a smaller bike in. I need some water. Yeah, I'm gonna stop for a sec up here and do my workout, drink some water, do a little stretch, and then I'll come back to it. Hear my voice. It's crazy. I'm crackle-acking. Yeah, I think I'm coming up on Knocksheri, so I'm gonna stop up here at Knocksheri, and then when I come back, I'll drive the beach road. Listen to my voice. Listen to my voice. All dry, all crackly. It's right here, right at this bus stop. Yep. There. Okay. All right, I'll be back in 10 minutes or something. And I'm back. I did some push-up holds, which were very challenging. And I also did some diagonal hollow holds, which is sort of like a leg lift, and then an arm lift as well. And those were also very challenging. And then I just turned on some Flying Lotus. Whew. I refilled my water. I took a few sips. My voice should be back to normal. Oh, man. I like working out. I woke up this morning. And I felt sore. I felt sore from the workout yesterday. And I love waking up feeling sore. It's the nicest damn feeling. It means you're taking care of your damn body. I don't feel it often enough anymore. You know, I was just thinking about this morning. I've never, ever enjoyed working out. I used to do a lot of high school sports. I did cross country all 4 years, and I sort of enjoyed running. I didn't really though, man. I would never practice in the summer when you're supposed to be conditioning and stuff. My coach would always give me these like sheets that would tell you how many miles to do per day and stuff like that, but I never ran during the summer. And then when it came to the season, I was always like super slow, but I didn't care, you know. I was in it for the sort of social aspect. The social aspect of cross country is really fun. But yeah, I would run at practices and stuff, but I would never run as far as like the varsity kids would go and stuff. And then in the winters, I think I only did a winter sport once. I did swimming 1 year. And I was thinking about it this morning, I think that was the longest stretch of time, those 3 or 4 months, where I actually worked out like continuously, you know. In swimming, we would do like the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like before school practices, where you would go in like an hour and a half before school started, and you would go work out for an hour, and then you would go to school, and then every single day, Monday through Friday, after school, you would do a 2-hour swimming practice. And then on Saturday, you would go in and do a 2-hour practice. I have no fucking clue why it was so damn intensive. You know, it's so weird that single sport. I mean, football is definitely intensive. They do like legit practices during the summer and stuff like that. But yeah, swimming was like the only thing that just like takes over your damn life compared to all the other high school sports. I don't know why. Don't know what happened there. It just became so competitive. But yeah, that was like the period of my life where I've worked out the most, and it was just like this 3 or 4 month thing. Since then, before then, I've never ever stuck with like a workout routine. And I'm not that out of shape, you know. It's not much to brag about, but I can do like legit nose to the ground push-ups. I can do probably 30 or 40 of them if I really wanted to. And my figure is decent, you know, not oversized, not too skinny. I don't work out, but I want to. I wanna develop some sort of workout regime and stick it with it for like a year and see what happens. Maybe I just associate working out with this series here, because I want this series to go for over a year. I want to get to that day 360 motherfucking 5, okay? Hit that apex. And if I just automatically work out in the middle of each of these streams, that's a full year of working out. And that's not too fucking shabby. That is not too shabby. Oh, excuse me. Man, that bump back there. It's like a little bump in the road around that roundabout. That thing almost fucking killed me. Back in like day 14 or whatever it was. Oh, excuse me. I was mobbing down this road in the opposite direction. I was only going like 70 or 80 miles an hour or something like that, but the bump is so extreme there in the middle of the road, directly in the middle, that if you hit it wrong, it just launches your rear wheel into the air. And I almost went over the handlebars. That would have been like, I don't know if I would have, if that was, no, that was definitely fast enough. I probably would have quit if I did actually crash there. After that, that's when I started taking these cruise streams, these slow second and third gear the whole time streams a little more seriously. Because if a tiny little bump like that can kill you, there's a lot of road in this game that has the potential for tiny little bumps like that. And after about 60 days of doing this, I think that's the only like real fucking bump like that on this whole island. But there's a few little sections that you really need to watch out for. There's one hill on the other side of the island, sort of near Douglas, where if you go over too fast, it's not quite a bump, but it is like a steep hill, and it will launch your rear wheel into the air as well if you're not careful. And then there's a couple bumps on one of those long straights right before you get into Douglas. There's a couple bumps on the left side of the road, but if you're not careful, those will take you out because you're going fast on those straights. You're going like 5th gear, 6th gear. If you hit one of those bumps, you're done, boy. There's no coming back from that. There's not too many other massive bumps though. Just lots of blind corners that you have to be ready for. The first like 30 days that I was doing this, before I really memorized this whole place, you'd have to like go around with the assumption that there would be a hairpin turn around every single blind corner, because there are enough hairpin turns in this game where if you're not careful and you don't know the place, it could just sneak up on you and then you're done. You're into the trees, you're into the brick wall on the other side of the hairpin, and you're done. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Be interesting growing up on this island and having to learn how to ride on it. Like, for real. I heard of one guy, I think, that raced in the TT this year for 2023. There was one guy who did pretty good in one of the classes, and I think it was like his first year racing or something at the TT. But he'd grown up here, and he'd learned to ride a motorcycle on this island. Here, I'll show you one of these crazy hairpins coming up right here. He'd grown up on the island and learned how to ride a motorcycle on this island. It's crazy. Crazy to think about. Oh, that's a nice corner. Oh, good song. Hold on a sec. Here's a pretty sharp corner. And then coming up here. Oh, yeah. That right there. Do you see that? That's a dangerous frickin' corner right there. I'll just show you that again for all you who missed it. So you got this sharp corner right here, and then there's this just blind hump, and you think it's gonna continue straight, and in real life it does, because there's not all this schmutz, all these vans and guardrails blocking the damn road, but in this game they're there, and so you mob over the hill thinking that it's gonna keep going, and then you have to emergency fucking brake before you rail yourself right into those rails. Whoa. And backing up in this game needs to be worked on a little bit. Okay, there we go. Of course, I'm the only person playing this, I think, who really cares about crashing, though, so can't really blame the devs, I guess, but still. This road's nice, though. This is a very, very fast, straight road going through Knocksheri. I don't got nothing to prove, though. I'm not going to be going in 6th gear on here. Not today. Not today. I have before, but not today. Just be putzing along. 3rd gear, 2nd gear. Just putzing. Just putzing along. 80 miles an hour. Oh, hold on a second. Got something I'm not here. That's better. Turn on some other music as well. Get my cruise playlist going again. Okay. I love having a mic. Having a mic is very, very cool. I want to start doing podcasts. Man, I'm still not visualizing myself in front of me when I'm looking. It's tough, man. How does one do that? Oh. That was kind of weird. Trying to grab the rear brake a little bit in emergency maneuver. Slow it down a little bit. We're just cruising. We're just cruising right now. Not trying to go too fast. What a beautiful game. Alright, I'm gonna keep going backwards on this mountain course. Up to St. John's. I want to do a nice like 4-hour-long stream again soon. I love those long rides. I don't have too many of them on my channel, but there's a couple 3-hour long rides. More than a couple. But I want a nice long ride again. Alright, I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Hello. I'm back. I think I'm just gonna turn on a podcast, actually. I'm gonna turn off my mic, let the rest of the ride sort of be silent, unless I feel like talking. I'm just gonna kill some time, ride around, and listen to a podcast. Lex Friedman put out one a little bit ago that seemed interesting, with Walter Isaacson, who writes biographies. And we're going to listen to that and this Mary Oxman. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do the Mary Oxman. Alright, this is the end of the podcast portion of this ride. Probably, I may, as I said, I might turn my mic on again later. But for now, I'm going to sign off. I'm just going to ride out for the next half hour or so. Thank you for listening, all who listened. And that's that. Alright, I'm getting kind of tired, so I'm gonna shut down for now. I will be back on playing Starfield later tonight, about 8 hours from now or so. Thank you for everyone who watched, and I will see you later.